Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you. My name is Nick on the Commodore 64. We're looking at one of the classic games from the arcades converted to the Commodore 64. It's Pole Position, published by Datasoft in 1984. The arcade was by Namco in 1982. You might be able to hear the disk drive whirring in the background there. But it's Chase View there. It was up against Pit Stop, I suppose. Pit Stop 2 came out the same year, which was split screen by Epyx in 84 and the Commodore 64, the original Pit Stop in 83. So, first of all, we need to qualify. So it's 2 gears, low and high, which will be changing at a right juncture. So we do the qualifying and then we're in the actual race. So here we go. If you had this game back in the day, let me know. I think we have reviewed it, or Pit Stop, I can't remember, on the Atari 2600. Now immediately the graphics look a little bit blocky for Commodore 64 type stuff. It doesn't look too, it is more advanced than the Atari 2600, but it doesn't look as advanced as what the Commodore 64 can do. Whoops, I was going to say the road holding was pretty good, but I weren't paying attention. Okay, so I think there's some different tracks to select, but they're pretty much the muchness. You get straights and curves. Time ticking down in the middle, but this bit is just the qualifying or the practice, so to speak. Whoa! Right, okay, so different coloured cars as we go past. Looks like at the moment there's going to be one at a time, but I think in the actual race, the more laps you survive, the heavier the traffic. So I don't know what qualifying time I'm going to do when I've crashed and blown up twice. Not expert gameplay, seeing how we got on your first or second go. Did have a sequel called Pit Stop 2, which is supposed to be a little bit more refined than this original game. But you know, these are my favourite style games, Chase View, because you don't have to think a great deal. You just get in the car and zip along like a crazy nincompoop. If you are zipping along like a crazy nincompoop, then comment in the comment section below. Don't take your eyes off the road. There we go. Oh no, I've got 3 times. Oh dear, what's the qualifying here? So you're going to get pole position through to 8th place. As long as you don't run out of time, I think you're going to be pretty much safe. Scores ticking up there on the left too, and that's 1 lap. Well, I think the race is 3 laps, but you can change that on the title screen. Nice bit of fanfare, not as good as the arcades, it has to be said, but it is there. Game is doing what it should do, but it hasn't really aged particularly well. I think better games were to come, and quite quickly as well. But as I say, the cars now, I see them all in the grid there. It is very, very, very blocky when it didn't need to be. Right, let's see if we can move through here. So it isn't a race as such. We do a grid, but you will come across, oops, there's water there. You would come across other cars that didn't seem to be on the grid. So now it's going to sort of like a more of an arcadey sort of feel. And it's, well, I think you've got to survive over 3 laps, I think. There, so as I say, but you can change that. Road holding isn't too bad. You don't have to decelerate too much around the corners. It's all about trying to see what cars are in front of you and avoid them. But do check out the review of Pit Stop 2 that came out the same year. Much more advanced than this with split screening as well for 2 players. This is just 1 player. But for the era 1984, it's sort of alright before those Pit Stop ones come out, as I said. Right, okay. And arguably, you couldn't have had games like Lotus Esprit Turbo Challenge on the Amiga if this one didn't come out first. This is the very beginning, more or less, of Chase View race games. I suppose the Spectrum had checkered flag, didn't it? Around about 83 as well. Square wheels. These ones look a bit square, except when it's turning the corners. I like the skidding noises there, but the horizon is as it should be. It's not a great deal of detail elsewhere. You can drive off the circuit to overtake, but avoid the occasional signs that turn up there. Right, okay. So, I seem to be doing better this time. We'll get round there. Good. So, low and high gears, but as soon as you get into high gear, unless you go really slow or crash, there's no real reason to go back into low gear. I think it might have scored okay back in the day, but as I say, very quickly overtaken by other games. Just because of the graphic wise, there's not a great deal there, but you know what to do. Now, there's a version of this on the Spectrum, a homebrew called 4K Race Refueled. That's pretty good. Knocks this for 6 really, but that is I think it's by Paolo Ferrari, but come out quite a lot later. Yeah, decades later in fact, so maybe it's not a direct comparison. Different compilers and different ways of doing things now. Right, boo, oops, that was close. Boo, 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 boo. So survive as long as you can. I'm a sucker for these games, much like Enduro on the Atari 2600. I've done that. Much like Enduro on the Atari 2600, I could be playing that forever. So we need to do the laps in the qualifying time each time. You see it ticking down in the middle, but it's fairly easy. You can change the difficulty if it's easy, medium and hard, but I don't think it's too difficult in either of those settings, to be fair. So it's all about getting the best score you possibly can. Right. Boo, boo, boo. Yeah, it's crying out for two-player, really, isn't it? Oh, dearie me. Kaboom. The slightest touch and the car will explode. Don't know what it's made out of, this car. So it's based loosely on Formula 1, although it's not a direct license. Called pole position, so you go for pole position on the qualifying lap, but it's not really that important. You can start from 8th place if you want. It's not going to cost you a great deal of time, only in your points. But who wrote down the amount of points they had on this? Went to the school next day. I got 856224. Oh, I got 856425. Oh, right. Okay, you beat me. Depending on where you come, when you complete the 3 laps, you do get a bonus score there. So we've got our lap time so far 54.88. I think that's what that says. Next lap was quite a bit slower, but we got extended play again. Time doesn't seem to be an issue, ticking down in the middle. Right, time 61.5. We did a much quicker first lap. So this is the last lap, I think. We've got magenta cars, we've got yellow cars, we've got cyan cars, and that's about it. A white car. I think the yellow car back in the day and blue, which this tends to be, well, it's a bit come through a bit mauve on the Commodore 64's colour palette, is the Williams, I suppose. Nelson Piquet, Alan Jones, Nigel Mansell, Riccardo Patrese, all those sort of drivers. Did Thierry Boutsen used to drive Williams? I can't remember. Right, boo boo. Back in this sort of era anyway. Oh man, Caravan. Go running. That was a tight one. So the collision detection isn't too bad on this. It's quite fair. Car's not slipping all over the place. I do prefer the controls of the pit stop games though. But as I say, it's continuing on a similar theme. Am I going to get round here? I don't know. If you want to see other Commodore 64 games we've reviewed, there are in a playlist which is steadily building. To get there, everyone knows it, but for those who don't, click on my username. Oh, we've come to the finish. Takes you to the channel page, click on the playlist tab, and then Commodore 64 will be there with a load of others. Okay. Oh, are we really going to have to... It's giving us a bonus for each point. Are we really going to have to sit through all of this? Well, this is a bit laborious. 66, 65, 64. Oh, man. Caravan. We're pressing fire button. There should be a way of skipping this. This is going to drive me bonkers. The way this countdown is, it's going to be the same sort of like time as we did an actual lap there. So yeah, so in this, try and get the best lap you possibly can. No real reason to write down your top score. That's just a bit in the way. And yeah, just go. With each progressive lap, there's more and more traffic. So maybe set yourself up for a race longer than 3 laps if you want more of a challenge. I think you might get about 2 or 3 cars on the track at the same time. So that's when you need to be a bit circumspect, going around the corners, going at the right speed, weaving in and out of them. Burr, 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 burr. I'm going insane. Burr, 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 burr. Oh man, I couldn't say much of that all the time if I weren't talking to you. Right, that's through. Oh, what? No way. I thought I was through this. Now we're doing a time bonus. Oh, I'm getting insane in the membrane now. Right, anyway, what's my score? Keep an eye on that. So we got, 58,000. So it's individual races, game over. It's individual races. It's not really about doing a Grand Prix or anything. It's pure arcade action. Still hear that disc drive whir in the background. Right, okay. So I'll just do one qualifying lap and then we get out of here. We aim the reviews to be about 10 minutes long. So let's see if I can get pole position. Pole position. Da-da-da-da-da-da. What was that cartoon? I think it was called cartoon called Pole Position. Pole position. Go. Floor it, big nose. That's what I'd say over the radio if I was, a Formula 1 technician. Right, go. Avoid that water. That slows us down. Right, so last time I qualified in 8th place, which is last. Let's see if I qualify better this time. But I did crash back 3 times, didn't I? On the grass, but it hasn't cost me too much. Power around like a speeding nincompoop from hell. That's my Formula 1 tactics. I've never asked to drive for a Formula 1 team, funnily enough. No email through. Dear Nick, someone's ill today. Can you drive for Ferrari? Oh no, the car's blown up. It turned into popcorn. And that's it. So that's going to affect a qualifying lap. I don't think anyone in the history of Formula 1, you might know better than me, I don't think anyone in the history of Formula 1 as the car has exploded, they've rebuilt it on the track, and then they've continued on and got pole position. I don't think that's ever happened. I mean, how much time does it cost you if your car explodes and needs to be rebuilt? More than a couple of seconds, I would have thought. Anyway, looks like it's going to be 8th place again, doesn't it? And then we'll zip out of here. Tell me your memories of this game, both from the arcade and any system, in that comment section below, and also any references to pit stop if you want to. What's your favourite, pole position or pit stop? As I say, if it's 1984, get pit stop too, to be honest, no question about it. 4th place this time, nice bit of fanfaring. So although I crashed, so if I didn't crash, I think pole position would be quite easy on the mode I am at the moment. There we go. So we won't do the race this time. You know pretty much what it's all about. Chase view racing. So I hope you liked having a look at that one. You know, blocking graphics could be a bit better, but all right for 84, and was superseded pretty fast. But look at it for the era, not bad, I suppose. You're going to get some memories there. So yeah, that was pole position on the Commodore 64, published by Datasoft in 1984, based on the arcade cabinet from Namco in 1982. But yeah, choose Pit Stop 2 for this year by Epyx, the same year. We've got any comments about this game, similar games, anything Commodore 64 or racing, then put that in the comment section below. You're more than welcome, and I always like reading your comments. It does generate a bit of activity. I must be fair to that. And yeah, till next time, take great care of yourself and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye.
You just get in the car and zip along like a crazy nincompoop. If you are zipping along like a crazy nincompoop, then comment in the comment section below. Pole position. Da 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 da. What was that cartoon? I think it was called Pole Position.